Let's talk about runners at third base on a base hit up left side of the field. Hey, you concede the run, especially in the youth programs and the middle high school area, some of the college areas, you concede that run. And what happens then, as a left fielder then, you throw then to the next advanced base side, which would be second base. You hold the batted base runner to a single. However, there is a few areas, or one area in particular, when we're talking about the elite level, and we're talking about the gray area of the game, that you may have a shot at that runner at third base. If your depth is short as a left fielder, if you have quickness to the ball, if you have a gun for an arm, and you come up throwing and your throw is accurate, and the runner isn't so quick, well then maybe you have a chance at preventing that runner from scoring. But more often than not, you concede that run and worry about the next base runner. Don't allow her in the scoring position. Hey, now let's talk about third base runner. Ball hit to center field. More chances than not, she's going to score. You let her score. From there, what happens then, again, you play the odds. You play the next batted base runner, prevent her from being in what I call the scoring position. You'll then throw to second base. And what happens? Ball in the middle, the shortstop's got second. The left fielder comes around and covers third. Your first base person has first base. And your right fielder will come in around first base area. Same thing, a runner at third, ball hit to the right field on a grounder. Hey, you concede the run, but then hold the runner. In fact, on a situation like that, that is where you, okay, I don't care whether it's 2 outs or less than 2 outs, get the runner out at 1. Because the ball hit hard to you, you have a shot to get that runner at 1. Concede the run. Certainly don't concede it when you have 2 outs. Go for the out. It takes you right out of the inning. Situations now we'll talk about is what I call multiple runners in base hit situations. How do we handle that? Let's talk about runners at first and second, and let's talk about a single. Again, if your philosophy is to prevent it from scoring, then you're going to have to make adjustments to do that. The biggest thing is you want to prevent big innings from happening. So again, let's say the runner at first and second, the ball is hit sharply to third base. It's real simple, advanced base. You throw the ball to third base, and the third baseman will be there, cut it off, and then that's it. The other thing is, if on a little bit of a gapper, what I call the alleys, if the third base or if the left fielder has to go a little bit to her left or her right, then what has to happen maybe, the shortstop will cover third, the third base person will come out and act as the cutoff, the center fielder will back up second, the second base person will have second, my first base person will have first. And therefore, what will happen, you'll keep the runner at third, and that is how you play a cutoff situation in which maybe that left fielder, the ball is not quite directly to her, maybe it's 3 or 4 steps to her left, 3 or 4 steps to her right. It's in playing position. Multiple runners, first and second, with the ball hit up the middle. What do? Again, it's real simple. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Again, that center fielder, strength of arm, all those decisions that they have to make. Hey, maybe she'll concede the throw, okay, or maybe not. What will happen in that situation with runners in scoring position, you'll have what we call cutoffs. Your first base person will come out around the pitching area. Your pitcher will then go in between third and home with a decision. Should I go to third to help back up based on where the throw is going, or should I go to home on an advanced situation? She has to make a decision based on where the throw is going. 9 times out of 10, that center fielder will throw the ball in to the first base, who will then act as a cutoff. Same thing with runners at first and second. Base hit to right field. What's going to happen is this. The shortstop will then act as a cutoff for throws to third. The second base person will then take throws to second. First base will come off, and this is the hard part. Do you come off? Again, if it's 2 outs, if I were playing first, no, I wouldn't come off. I try to get that out. Less than 2 outs, you know the score of the inning situation. Maybe the right fielder has to go 3 steps to her left or 3 steps to her right. You're never going to get that play at first. First base person has to come off as the cutoff. So third base will cover third. The shortstop will be the cutoff, let's say the play is at third. You have second base at second, and you have your first base person as a cutoff. And who calls cut? It's the catcher. And again, timing is important because you want to be able to call cut prior to the ball getting to you. A rule of thumb in general for infielders on all cutoff plays, if the outfielder doesn't hit you in the chest or the head area and the ball is traveling at you below the knees, you better automatically cut it off because it's not getting to the plate anyway, or it's not getting to third base anyway if you happen to be in a cutoff situation. Go out and get the ball. Let's talk about multiple runners at second and third. Ball hit to the left side of the field. Rule of thumb in general. In general, you concede that run. You concede the runner going home from third to home, but let's get that next run. Let's get that next person going from second to third. That's the trail. Now, if your throw is really kind of weak, and yet in that situation, you know what I would do? In situations that are critical, I'd look at who the hitter is. I may switch my outfield. I may at times change my personnel on the outfield if I'm looking to give up some things to get some other things in critical parts of the game. But in this particular situation, maybe I will just let the left fielder, hey, throw to the advanced base, which is third, concede that run, and get that one. In the elite level, again, that's their decision. Are you a risk taker? What's the score? That's the strategy of the game. Ball hit up the middle with runners at second and third. What you got to think about, again, you're going to have the cutoff. The first base person will act as a cutoff by the pitching area. Third base will have third area. The shortstop will possibly be a cutoff to third. First base is open. Second base person may go to first. Hey, maybe you'll have your shortstop covering second. You can make an adjustment on that. Again, ball coming in from the center field. The catcher can say cut. Hey, maybe you concede the run. It's not there in time, but maybe you have the play on the trail runner. Ball's hit to the right side of the field, your right fielder. Runners at second and third. Same situation. You concede the run. In that angle, you concede the run. So what has to happen? Again, maybe your right fielder wants to get an out, so she'll make the play to first base. If she doesn't make the play to first base, she then certainly wants to hold the next runner. She doesn't want her to get beyond second base. Again, you can concede certain things based on your strength out in the outfield, who the hitter is. You may, again, change your outfield personnel in different situations. Coaches are sometimes afraid to do that, but sometimes that's a very good coaching decision. And sometimes kids will understand that. A lot of times we try to hide what we call the worst outfielders in right field. And a lot of times, you know, you might have your better outfielders with 2 outs, knowing that this kid hits opposite field. With runners at second and third, you may put your best outfielder in right field who's got the quickest of release and quickness of accuracy to make that play at first base to get yourself out of an inning. It's a risk.